Welcome to the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi After the Show podcast, a very thrifty one.
Well, an estate sale. That's not the same thing as thrifting, really. It's going to an estate sale is not considered thrifting, is it?
I would say it is, potentially. Because
same genre.
Because an estate sale, depending on the price, I guess the difference would be you can actually haggle. If you
I heard some of that going on. I do not do that.
And what's going to happen to the stuff left over after the estate sale?
I assume donation?
To a thrift shop.
Oh, okay, fine. There's a connection. Good for you. No, you would have loved this. In fact, when Phoebe and I were leaving, I do want to tell you, I will get to, the reason we're bringing it back up is the one thing that Phoebe is going to go back. She's waiting for the last day because she wants this thing that was hanging on the wall for 60% off, and I'll get to that. But when Phoebe and I were leaving this estate sale in our neighborhood the other day, Murphy, you would have been so interested in what was happening at the checkout.
Oh, really?
Which is in the living room of this home, and they've set up their table, and there's a young man standing there, and he was explaining to them, like, you're not going to get $400 for this, and it's some sort of photographic or darkroom equipment, and he said, I run a dark room, I live about an hour away, and this is what you'll get for it, and I'm offering you this. He's like, I'll give you $150 for it right now. He says, but you're not going to get $400 for it. I don't even know what it was, but it was just so interesting. I thought Murphy would be pretending to look at stuff just to listen to this.
Did they take the $150?
No idea, because I left. Because I don't care.
The thing about that is you have to be prepared to pay cash if you're going to do that.
Correct.
Because if you negotiate a price down with the card, they're still paying a fee, to process, so they will not negotiate with you on that. But if you've got the cash for it, you can. Well, I haven't done that in a while. You just have to be polite with it. You're not being pushy or anything. Right. And I'm sure this guy was fine. He
was nice. He was soft spoken. But it's funny that you say what happened. Now that I'm putting myself in that spot, when Phoebe and I were leaving, I did hear her say back to him, that she would be in that area next week, and if it didn't sell, she would call him.
Oh.
Something like that.
That's good.
So that is good.
Well, and you said they were using an estate sale company, right?
So, yes. This was not the family.
Yeah, so they take a percentage of it, which is, and it's a smart thing. I mean, I can tell you, when, of course, when I lost both of my parents, when my father passed, that's where we had to clean out his house. And we didn't wind up going that route. There really wasn't enough stuff to sell. I guess somebody could have, but it's a lot easier because when you're talking about an estate sale, you're talking about so much stuff that it's just easier to have somebody do it and take a percentage.
And what normally happens
once you've taken the things that you don't want, that are family heirlooms or whatever that you want to keep.
That's whenever you walk into it, when I first started going to them, it made me feel really weird, and there were certain parts of the home I wouldn't go in. I would never go into a woman's closet or and now it's the first place I go. Really, Phoebe knows, and Phoebe could not wait to get into the closet. We didn't know what to expect. You can walk into one and go, that's not me, I'm out.
Well,
but she was telling me, Mom, get in here. There's a bunch of stuff in this closet we have to see.
You sent me a picture of something that I do hope goes at 60% off.
Okay.
Because I would have had the same conversation with them that the guy with the photographic stuff.
Was it the Bose thing?
Yeah. Jodi sends me a picture of
all the equipment I know to send to him.
Yeah, it's a Bose 3-stacker CD, whatever,
changer,
speaker changer thing, and they're trying to sell it for $200, and that's way overpriced. Yeah, I mean, really, if you ever want to price comparison shop, and you're at an estate sale, you know what the best way to do it is? You don't
Google?
go to them, but no, not Google. You go to eBay and see what it's being resold for on eBay, because that's actually what. If somebody's not going necessarily the estate's, company route, a lot of times that's what will happen. Somebody will show up at the end of an estate sale and say, I will buy all this from you for this price, and then they sort and then they resell it on eBay. Sometimes you get it for free at the end, you know what I mean? But so it's really good because you've got a marketplace and sort of a market value that you can work off of to know. Yeah. I didn't do that with this one. I just know from, being the electronics freak that I am, because it involves CDs. Yes, it's got the Bose name
Bose,
on it,
right,
but it's not going to sell for that. So, we'll wait. I'll go walk down the street Tuesday when everything's 60% off and see if
this
they'll
was
take
a Saturday
$10
through
for
Tuesday thing, and Phoebe is planning to go back Tuesday because there were these, in some strange part of the house, there were these I don't know what you call these things. These little doll faces with crochet dresses hanging. Like it's like a
Just
doll
the face?
face with crochet around the face, and the bottom looks like a little skirt, and it's crocheted. Somebody made it, and it's hanging on the wall.
I think that was part of a craft kit or something.
Correct.
Yeah.
And Phoebe has always been that person. Like she wants one of those, and she was like, "I'm not paying $10 for that, though."
Is it kind of spooky looking?
I think it's spooky looking, but she doesn't. She will, if she goes back and gets one of those, she will name it. I know this child.
Yeah.
She will name it. She'll have an interesting name, and she'll hang it in her apartment, or she'll have it in her car. She's just like that. And I even told her, I said, do not buy something like that and drop it at my house. In fact, that's the reason I didn't want to go to the estate sale. I said, Phoebe, I have enough stuff. Look around you.
Yeah.
I have a home full of stuff that I'm constantly trying to reorganize, home edit. I'm donating stuff all the time. I don't need to go. And then she was like, but what if there are nice clothes and jewelry there? I'm like, okay, fine, I'm there.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I bought a pair of earrings.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm wearing a little pair of costume like studs that were just so pretty. They're a pink stone. You know, they're costume jewelry, so it'll last me a couple of years until it looks kind of wonky, and then I'll get rid of it. But I paid $5 for them.
Yeah.
I think these days it would have to be something that really speaks to me because of the same thing.
have so
I
much
don't want
stuff.
to bring any more stuff in. I've gone through my vinyl recollection phase. I'm done with that
Yeah.
because it still takes up a lot of space. You know, I mean, it's when CDs came out, I got rid of my original vinyl collection as a kid. And then, lo and behold, then I start buying it back.
Yeah.
So the things that I found I've wanted because they're either original
fun.
pressings or something like that. But I've stopped.
Yeah.
I've stopped doing that.
I will tell you,
it's too easy to collect.
It was fun. The crowd in there was fun. Like, so I want to take you to the ladies' closet really quick, and then I'll tell you one other piece of electronic weird thing that I did not send you a picture of yet, but I will. I have a picture of it. So in the ladies' closet, Phoebe was just blown away, wanted me to see. She's not interested in it, neither am I, but this woman had a lot of fur coats.
Oh.
Maybe not the most expensive in the world, but just a lot of different, and real animal.
Real
like
fur?
5 or 6 of them. Boom, 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 boom. So it was a thing for her. There were also a ton of scarves, and Phoebe bought a scarf. I bought it for her for $2, and it's so cute and beautiful. And we were looking up videos of how to style it because she wants to sort of style it. And it's a thin little one. It's not like a big winter one. It's a pretty, pretty little just accent scarf.
Yeah.
Beautiful. But in her closet, I think I mentioned in the show today that I found gloves, formal gloves, long white formal gloves with pearl looking buttons. And I showed Phoebe, I said, look, I'm just showing you this. I don't want them, need them. I said, but look at this. You don't see this every day. And you would probably have to order this online because even formal shops might not have this. And she, she's an old soul. She was like, man, I wish that would come back. I'm like, well, you could do it. Next time you dress up, you can do it. Mm-hmm. It is classic, but you don't see that. And right underneath those gloves, I saw something and I called her back. I said, Phoebes, come here. And I picked them up. And they were in perfect condition, more than one pair of leg warmers.
Oh.
From
as
an
leg
80s
warmers?
girl,
Wow.
I was like, Phoebes, I know you don't know what this is, but you would just put these on over your pants.
Were they in a pouch with Jane Fonda's face on it?
No.
Not those kind of leg warmers?
They were that kind of leg warmers.
1980s?
Yes.
Rainbow color or?
No.
Oh.
The one was blue and then another one was cream colored, and they just looked, and even this young girl who was kind of shopping along with us, we didn't even know her name. I had shown Phoebe a really pretty pink sweater. I said, this is a cardigan sweater. You can do a million things with this. It looks like you. And Phoebe's like, it does look like me, but I wouldn't wear it. And that girl grabbed it and she was like, I'm going to take it. And she was looking at the leg warmers too. And it's like, and you could tell she thought about it. It's wintertime. They were like $1 or $2. And they were in perfect condition, but it's just not something now. It probably will come back one day.
I can see how the fashion stuff would be the big takeaway. Like the jewelry and the clothes and that sort of thing for you.
Yeah, and I did buy a belt. It's pink.
It's
a pink belt, and it fit me.
What I'm really interested in, and I've not really gone crazy down the path, and I won't go crazy down the path. Jodi knows this already, and I am really keeping my eye out for mid-century modern lamps and things like that. Our producer Faith knows that I love that kind of stuff too. And there's a bunch of stuff that I have favorited it on eBay. but some of them are just selling for ridiculously insane prices. Yeah, I have two. One is actually my grandmother's, and I had the matching set, but I broke one of them by accident, unfortunately.
Well, it's big.
It's huge with the big, tall, lampshade, and it was ceramic. And they call that, it's not a lava lamp, but it's a volcanic kind of a lava look that was, the style in the 60s. And then I found a smaller, one that is just that white round one. And I was going to go get a crazy tall top for, but that didn't work. So I got and I forget
like a rectangle.
Yeah, I just don't know the names of the styles of them. There's Danish style. I think that's this. I love all that stuff.
I don't know the lamp style names.
My point is, if we go to an estate sale, and I guess it's probably tougher to find that stuff because if it's from the 60s.
Well, this would be the one to go to.
Some of those people aren't alive anymore. You know what I mean?
I don't remember the lamps, Murphy, but I want to tell you one other thing that I took a quick picture of. I told you there was a water pick in that bathroom that was very old, but clean, but very old. There was also this. Do you see that?
Oh, it's an old answering machine. A phone with an answering machine, yeah.
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 The box is there too. Phone Mate, $46.50. Answering machine with speakerphone. No
$46.
Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah. Yeah.
I guess you start high,
Yeah, because the first day everything's full price. The second day it's like, is it 25? I don't know how I don't remember the breakdown. That's written on the door on a place card, and Phoebe takes a picture of it. Yeah. She knows. She's already done the math on those crazy doll things with the crochet skirts that she might go back and try to get.
When you start trying to explain something like an answer, a phone answering system, for one thing, you start to hear yourself explaining it. It's like, what? Yeah, so you see what used to happen. Yeah, I know.
And what used to happen is we used to get creative with them, too.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And you record it and record it and record it.
Yeah.
And then every now and then the tape would get full. Yes, I said tape. Right? And you'd have to change the cassette out. And I know.
Anyway.
And that was, what's so funny is I remember my grandmother was the first to give my parents that was like the family gift. My aunts and uncles each got one, and my parents got the quote unquote answer phone. That was the term for it.
Yeah.
And it was this massive box with these click knobs on it, and it didn't even have a phone attached to it. You just plugged it through the system, and you couldn't change tapes out either. It was this massive boat anchor of a piece of equipment. And it's like, again, trying to explain that to somebody. I wouldn't pay $45 for that.
No.
I don't think I'd pay $4 for that.
You don't need it.
Right.
It's
gonna end up in your estate sale.
And that's the kind of thing that it's a great prop if needed for, donate that
Hollywood.
to Little Theater or something like that, right.
Yeah, Little Theaters, community theater would be much better.
Yeah, right.
Correct. Anyway, I just thought I would share that because it was just so fun. I almost didn't even tell her about it. And then we wouldn't have all these little stories to tell you. I wouldn't have
the estate sale?
Yeah, because I saw it and she didn't. She was just hanging out at the house with our cousin James and Taylor. But I knew as soon as I told her it was going to be a deal. In fact, the next day, yesterday, she took James back. They went back together. They were looking for some sort of Army bag that was there. And she knew that he liked Army stuff, but it was gone. Somebody had purchased it on Saturday.
You get the feeling those scary-looking baby face things are going to be there Tuesday?
I do. I cannot imagine another soul on this planet who really wants those, but you never know.
Yeah.
You really never know. If you ever have a chance to just stop into one, it's hit or miss. And even if you don't buy a thing, it's worth checking out.
Look, I haven't done it in a while. I just love that because there are stories there. You can literally see somebody's life story explained by the things that they've owned.
I could see where this woman had traveled. You could see all the books that she had and then some of the jewelry. The costume jewelry that I bought was just out, and you could grab it and they would put it in a bag for you with your name on it. But there was a lot of other jewelry under glass that you had her real jewelry. And they had it priced way up as if new to you. So, that would be interesting to see on Tuesday. If they've taken that out of the equation and they're going to sell that, or they're actually offering that at 60% off.
Yeah.
That would be interesting to me to know.
I need to go back and see. Jodi also sent me a picture of a reel-to-reel machine, a Sony reel-to-reel
I'm
machine.
sorry.
That they
Yeah,
got.
I forgot to show you that.
But it was the consumer version of that. There was
not the professional.
Yeah, right. But there were consumer reel-to-reel machines. My dad didn't have one of those, but I had an uncle that did. for whatever reason, I mean, I don't know what you would do with them. I don't know where you bought the tapes to do that, but they would
buy the album on tape.
I think maybe what they were doing, it was sort of like an audio file kind of thing where they'd take their own songs and record them onto them, and they have that one big tape that they could play at parties or whatever. I don't know.
You mean like the iPhone playlist?
Yeah, that's right. Which is a whole lot easier to use.
I'm curious too. One question about the person that lived there.
I don't know anything about.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. They don't like post a little.
No, they do not.
Who's the person, and
No, they do not. It's all business. In fact, I've never really walked into one. One time we walked into one where it was like, oh my gosh, this is the home of my friend's father, and sure enough, my friend was in the kitchen. Like, hey, Ginger. Yeah. But no, I never have ever walked into one where you knew anything about the person. You create a story about the person based on their things.
Yeah.
Based on their home, the condition of their home, and their things.
Yeah.
Missed any part of the show? Get it all on the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi podcast.